you've probably heard by now about that whole Damian Lillard and a guy betting his house on the Blazers winning 42 games situation. Well, it turns out that the fan wasn't entirely being truthful, because when Dame asked to see some receipts, the guy basically admitted that he actually only bet around $200. So he didn't exactly bet the house, so to speak, on Dame and the Blazers like he claimed. But regardless, that doesn't take away the fact that Dame was a man of his word and fulfilled his promise. In fact, the Blazers always make sure to pay back their debts, like when Dame came onto the set of Inside the NBA to reimburse Charles.
One summer, I flew to Portland on my own dime. The Portland Trailblazers owe me $1,197. I flew to Portland on my own dime. The Trailblazers have never paid me back.
Come on, Dame. Dame Dollar is joining us.
On behalf of my team, we pay our debts, man, so I had to make sure you got that.
Unbelievable. $1,197.
So let's quickly go through a few more examples of when players were a man of their word and held up their end of the bargain, either after a bet or a challenge, whether they wanted to or not. Enjoy the video. When the Chicago Cubs and the Cleveland Indians punched their ticket to the 2016 World Series, there were two guys that knew they just had to make a friendly wager on this. LeBron James, who was a Cleveland native, and Dwayne Wade, who was a Chicago native. They were absolutely stoked that their teams were about to face off on the big stage. So much so that they came up with a little bet. The bet was, whoever team loses, the loser has to show up to the other guy's home game dressed as the team who won. And as we all know, the Indians would end up losing in 7 games, ironically after the Cubs came back from down 3-1 to win their first championship since 1908. And that meant that LeBron lost the bet. But he didn't sit there and complain or anything like that. He owned up to it and immediately marked his calendar for the very next time his Cavs were in Chicago, which was on December 2nd, 2016. And let's just say he was more than prepared. He had the pants, socks, cap, and of course the jersey, which he had custom made way in advance. I mean, you wouldn't expect anything less. He took this very seriously. Like I said, this was when D Wade was on the Bulls, so it was off to the United Center where D Wade was waiting, and when LeBron arrived, it was lights, camera, action.
I'm sitting outside the bus waiting for the arrival of this. Hey! What's up, bro? What's going on with you? What you know good?
You could tell Wade was enjoying every second of it and made sure to rub it in his face as much as possible.
Snapchat, how you doing? I'm back. Here go, you ain't gonna smile from my Snapchat?
Why are you following me? You already won the bet.
What, look, don't he look good, everybody? Look at him, he looks great.
You gotta give LeBron credit for not half-assing the punishment. We all remember when Melo sported cornrows when he first entered the league, but in 2008, he surprisingly cut it all off and went with a buzz cut, leaving many questioning why. Well, he was kind of forced to. You see, in this clip right here, Melo was playing some NBA Live 09 with one of his friends, and as their session went on, it led to what friends usually do while playing video games. Let's just say Melo should have just kept his mouth shut and just played the game.
No, you can't beat me in this game, Melo.
Well, bet something then.
Melo suggested they should bet on it, but he probably wasn't expecting to hear this.
Bet, if I win this game, you gotta cut your hair tonight.
For some reason, Melo accepted the challenge, as things got really intense from there.
It's a buck right here.
Oh! So losing. I ain't losing.
You ain't losing. Be mad. Way to go, you gotta cut your hair, yo. Way to go, you gotta cut your hair today, baby. Champ is here. Champ is here.
He went from chilling on the couch to watching hair clippers get brought out. You could see the dread on his face, and he was not looking forward to it.
I just lost my bet, man. Hello.
That's so good. This looks good.
That must have been extremely difficult for him to see his hair go, so that's why we gotta give the man some props, especially having to endure his friend bragging in his ear the entire time he was sitting there. Whenever somebody challenged Kobe Bryant, it usually never ended well for them, and I'm pretty sure former NBA correspondent Elie Seckbach regretted doing just that. He had the goal to interrupt Kobe's practice time with a bet that I'm sure he thought he was not gonna lose. The bet was that if Kobe makes a half-court shot with his left hand, then Seckbach would have to do 200 push-ups, and what happened was what everyone expected. Elie Seckbach lost the bet, but just like someone who doesn't want to accept defeat, he claims that he didn't see the ball go in.
Now right after we made this bet, I ran to get my camera, but in the meantime, Kobe drilled the shot. Check it out.
Nothing but net.
Did the ball go in?
Did it go in?
Yeah, sort of just barely tapped over the front of the rim.
Wow. So you owe me 200 push-ups.
Yeah.
Joe, you know what's crazy?
No, I don't want to hear it.
But I didn't see the ball go in, did I?
It's not his fault.
Hey, Kobe Bryant says he hit a half-court shot that I did not see.
So they upped the stakes even higher.
But you know what's crazy? I didn't even see the ball go in because I went to get my camera.
Everybody, you know what? You want to double it up?
Yes.
I 10 more shots.
10 more shots.
You want 10 more shots?
10 more shots.
If I make it, you got to do 200 more.
Oh, if not, I'm off the hook.
If not, you're off the hook.
Okay, that's the deal.
Just in case you couldn't hear it, this time Kobe has 10 tries to make a half-court shot with his left hand, and if he makes it, then Elie has to now do 400 push-ups, and if Kobe is not able to do it in 10 tries, then Elie would be off the hook. Let's see how things unfold.
You know he made that in 5 shots, right?
I know, I didn't see, I was not here.
There it is. Oh. Kidding me.
That's 3 or 4 in there.
Yeah, about at least 3.
Hard 400. Damn.
I saw that one go in. Huh? I saw that one go in.
I know you saw it. We all saw it.
Elie was a good sport about it and eventually did all 400 push-ups. Now perhaps this next one was the only time Kobe found himself on the losing side of a bet, and it was none other than his wife Vanessa who handed him the L. Kobe challenged his wife to hit a backwards granny shot from the free throw line, and after just 4 attempts, she nails it.
No!
Money. Money. You didn't get it?
She of course did not hesitate to gloat about winning the bet, which I wouldn't be surprised she learned from him. During the 2011 NBA lockout, the players had some extra time on their hands, and what better way to spend that time than to do the Cinnamon Challenge? JaVale McGee and Nick Young, who were both on the Wizards at the time, bet each other to see who could swallow a spoonful of cinnamon. JaVale McGee had this to say before they got started.
I'm gonna beat you anyway. I'll leave you wet in my mouth.
McGee was confident that he would be able to do it, but barely lasted a few seconds, while Nick Young remained calm, cool, and collected as he was focused on completing the challenge, which he does exactly that. Nick Young did what he was supposed to do, but the cocky one did not hold up his end.